So, Joe McCusack, the Minister of Education, finally said what I've been saying since donkeys became donkeys, and that makes no sense, but we'll go with it. That there's no way they could do it in this country, social distancing in the schools and questions. No way, not a hope, because he won't say it straight, but there's no teachers in the country. All of them have gone to Australia. There's no teachers. They can't get any teachers to save for anything. They can't get any teachers. So that means they're very stressed. The staff in schools are very, very stressed because there's a lack of teachers and they have to teach more students than they have to because they haven't got the resources to teach more kids. And they have separate classrooms and everything like that. So it's they didn't think about that, the Department of Education. And also, so many teachers left and they couldn't get replacements, so lack of teachers too. A lot of them are retiring this year too. So they're really, really are in a bit of a pickle. And also the schools are very, very tightly packed. Like they pack in so many students with so lack of teachers and everything like that. Like primary schools they couldn't do it. They just couldn't do it. There's not a hope in small primary schools they couldn't do it. In my school there's over 800 students. How in the name of God can you do it? Like there's no physical way you could do it. Like even if you brought them in half day, like you bring 100 in at one time, there's no way you could do it. There's actually no way you could do it. And I just love the way they're just like, wait a second, Joe McHugh. Like he didn't think about this. They didn't think about this, the government. And then as soon as I bring it up, they're like, oh right, this fella has a point. Because I went ratting away from to a few county councillors, and obviously they went up to Dublin, told Minister McHugh what I was saying, because I called them a pack of clowns, and I still stand by the word I said about the Department of Education, a pack of clowns. That's anybody who works in the Department of Education. They just don't have a notion what they're away from reality. They don't know what they're talking about. And I still stand by that. I always stand by what I say because I know myself what's happening in the Department of Education. We caring about the people who have the books. Like the people who has the books wins the education system, and the people who don't have the books, you don't really care much for them. And we know that about that Minister McHugh. But yeah, you really just messed it up so badly. Like I can't tell you, you just couldn't do it. You just really couldn't do it. There's so many schools, there's lack of teachers in all schools. They couldn't do it. They just couldn't do it. Like 800 students in 1 year, in second year in Breffney in my college, nearly 300 second years. And actually no, it could be 200. Sorry, I might be a bit mixed up with the figures. But my God, how could you do it? How could you do it? Like, I know myself, there's 3 teachers left at my secondary school. One of them was actually Kevin TD and Dáil and Pauline Tully. So you just couldn't do it. They can't get the replacement for. So, do I settle my case? Because they just can't do it. There's no way in hell. Like, unless they absolutely pumped money into the department and to every school in the country, but they couldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. Leo Facker meets his hot tub. And he meets his Phoenix Park runarounds and everything like that. And the first thing you need to do is cut Mikey Higgins' wages. That's one thing that should be the first priority the government to do. But it's just not possible. It's just really... And then social distancing on school buses. The buses are full up to the max. Some buses you can't fit anybody in. How in the name of God are they able to... Like, they can't do it. There's no way in hell they can do it. It's all right if you have a small school with 2 teachers and say 17 students or something, or 22 students, and it's a 2 classroom school or something like that. You could possibly get away with it. But the size of Dublin schools, 2,000. One of my cousins lives beside the school. There's 2,000 people going to it. Like, in the name of God, how could you do it? How could you do it? And there's less teachers than there's students. They just can't. They couldn't, and then they couldn't they can't. Obviously go around with the sect and dissect all the schools because there's a lack of caretakers. They won't pay the caretakers in the schools. Schools the size of with 800 or 400 students only have 2 janitors. Like they're too miserable the country to pay any more. They're literally too miserable. This country, like you could see, like now it's just showing the cracks in the Department of Education. And this is what I've been telling about young teachers leaving Ireland to go to other countries. You can see the cracks now just coming down the side of the Department of Education because they can't go left. They can't go right. They can't go centre. They can't do anything. The teachers are abroad. They're getting more money than they ever did in this country. And they're not going to come back to Ireland for anything. And obviously, it's just, it's not right what the department... And then forcing people to pay for S&As and things like that. I still will never forget that. And I will bring that to my grave. and something I will remember for the day into the day I die. Paying for SNA is such a thing. The state should be providing that, and I never got an SNA in my life, and I say that straight, and to Minister McHugh. And I'm very heavily dyslexic and a bit of autism too. Never got any. Like I got a speech and language things like that, but I'm thankful for that. But I never got an SNA, posting SNA with me all the time. When I was younger, I should have had it. Like, let's be honest, I would have been a lot better with maths and things like that when I was in national school. But the Department of Education had other ideas. They were too miserable. That's what it's nice to put it straight. They were just too miserable. So you just wait, like the Department of Education. They can't go left. They can't go right. They can't go centre. They're just stuck in the middle. They just can't do anything. They can't, like, there's no physical way. And Leo Varadkar comes out and says this quack. And this shows the man his son bathes in the Phoenix Park, and he tells his people of Ireland, stay in your houses. I'm going out for a jog with my fellow, God knows who. I'm going sunbathing in the Phoenix Park. Everybody else has to stay indoors, and I can do whatever I please. It's one of the safest things to do. Like, I tell you what Leo Varadkar's doing. He's watching Denmark, he's watching Norway, and what they're doing. And Denmark and Norway, like, the amount of money Denmark has put into their schools in the last few months, Ireland could never match it. Ireland could never do it. They have so many teachers, and more teachers than Ireland ever had in its history. And the same in Norway. They're paying teachers fairly. They're treating young teachers fairly. They're not forcing them to go abroad. So you can just see the quacks. The quacks are showing. And this is the best thing. Like, it just shows you how bad different departments in government are run. Like, you can see in the Department of Defence that they just, if you kick in the door, the whole one structure will just come crashing down. Because they're abandoning the men in Lebanon and they couldn't give a damn. Like, if you kicked in the door with the Department of Education's office, the whole structure just come crashing down. Because that's how bad, it's been funded, and that's how bad things have been let go in this country in different departments. Like, they just let it to decline, and it's the government's own fault, because they should have seen something like this happening, with some scale, but they hit them so hard, and there might never be schools open again. Like, there might be only 1 or 2 classes going in a week, and then there might be a switcheroo or whatever. That could work, but it'd be very, very difficult. And then buses and things like that, it would never work. And Bus Éireann is bankrupt, just to say. Bus Éireann is, if they weren't bankrupt before, they're bankrupt now. Like, it's just, they can't do anything. And Leo Varadkar going on gobshiting about the safest thing to do, I don't think so. And Leo Varadkar going into the Phoenix Park and right on top of his chums, that was a safe thing to do. That was a really, really safe thing to do, and I'm being sarcastic. So I don't really know what he means by safe. Does he mean everybody should just go into one classroom, 800 people should go into one classroom and stay in one classroom and breathe down each other's necks? Because I think that's what Leo Varadkar, because he's very contradicting. He's contradicting himself. Now, next thing he'll be saying we can't have baths and things like that. He'll be going, like, he's not well in the head, lad. But it just doesn't make sense. Like, he says no logic whatsoever. But anyway, I don't know the real issues. Like, there's so many young teachers left, and they're getting far better pay abroad, and they never come back to this country. Even if they force them to come back, they wouldn't come back. But rather shoot themselves and come back to this country for this pay and this bad. This goes to show you, because I remember in February the teacher strike. It was a strike. It was a young teacher strike, and old teacher strike too, because young teachers again treated unfairly, and you can see that now. Used to be begging young teachers to come home for nothing, basically. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please be safe, everybody, and subscribe for more. And bye.